right, guys, happy Monday, July 8th, coming to you feeling good, feeling excited, feeling actually refreshed from all the heat. At the end of the day, people get all panicked about the heat. At the end of the day, it's only a couple months that we experience this heat, and it's good for us. It's good for our souls. As long as we're staying hydrated, we're out on the water having some fun. And so I definitely, I'm not saying that I'm not enjoying it. We went and saw a movie yesterday. We bought a pool for the outside. So it's actually been cool. So I've been enjoying this. So let's do this. I want to have somebody bring us out on the field on this beautiful Monday morning, as always, in true keep it moving fashion. And that person is going to be not driving, and that person's going to be stationary, and that person's going to have their camera on. So that's what we're going to do. So that person's going to be Ashley. Ashley, are you still in Washington?
Good morning. Yes, I'm still in Washington till tomorrow night.
You guys are living it up there. I saw some of your stories. I love it.
Yeah, we're definitely creating a lot of core memories, getting the cousins together. My sister and I are really close, so when she moved away, we definitely make it intentional to get our kids together so that they know and love and trust each other as they get older. So yeah, we do this regularly as much as we can.
I love it. And
Um,
do you stay at your sister's house? Is that her place?
Yeah, this is her place. She has 10 acres in Washington. I
Uh,
keep trying to get her to build me a house in the back so that I have my own little quarters. They're not going for it just yet, but we're working
because
on it.
because if she did, you would move up there instantly.
I would definitely have a summer house for sure.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
it's
cool.
been
Well, I
all right.
love it. I love that you guys are all creating memories. Let's go ahead and have you take us out on the field on this beautiful, beautiful morning.
My sentiment of the day is a quote I actually saw yesterday on Instagram. It was, "You do not rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your systems." Everyone has dreams, everyone has goals. We all have that. And just because you dream big and you have big goals does not mean you will hit them. Your systems is what will tell whether or not you are successful. So if you do not have processes and systems, you're going to fall to the level of those. And if you do, you're going to rise to the level of those systems as long as you're consistent with the systems.
Wow, I absolutely love this. And I'm really, really glad that you shared this because I was talking to Kyle Whistle. He's one of our partners at EXP. He runs a very, very successful team. We've been going back and forth with number one in the entire company. He said on a call, he said that the systems run the business and the humans run the system, right? And so if you have a business that is thriving, that is operating, that is optimal, it's because of the systems, right? And the humans can go in and adjust the systems, but every organization that is successful is run by a series of successful systems. And I'm so glad that you said that because we're actually having our mid-year review next week, and we'll talk about that in a few moments, because if you're a guest, I don't want to bore you with, internal things. But I asked one of our team members, Eric King, to speak for 10 minutes because right now he's at $14 million in production, and he has a goal of hitting $30 million of production. And he's on pace to do that. It's going to be his best year ever. He moved to a new place this last year, had a baby, he's just growing, trying to build his business back up in that, area. And I said, what do you attribute this to? He said, the systems that I built years ago are now paying off for me. They're now coming full circle for me. And he's like, I have more business than I could have ever dreamed of. And it was all because, and it all is because of his system. So Ashley, I appreciate you sharing that. Thanks for being on. I'm glad that you've enjoyed your vacation. So you guys, let's get right into this. If you were not here on Friday, it's okay. I understand people were taking some time off. What I want people to do is I want you to go back when you have an opportunity, and I want you to watch Friday's session. I've really been thinking about this a lot. And let me get a show of hands. Show of hands. How many people are actually diving into this book? I made this recommendation a couple weeks ago. Has anybody picked up this book or started listening to the audio? Anybody? All right, cool. Well, I highly encourage you guys to do that. It's an incredible read. Zali, I appreciate that. It's just an incredible read, and I highly, highly recommend and encourage you guys to dive into that book. Well, it talks about the power of moments. Go back and watch the session that we did on Friday. Small but mighty group, but I tell you what, it was a really, really powerful meeting to talk about really how we are defining moments throughout the transaction for our consumers. So go back, watch Friday's session, and then you'll get a kind of a good idea of what to expect in this book. But I want to pull my screen up. Christina, it is called, The Power of Moments by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. Really, really good book. But let me do this. I'm going to pull up my screen right now. And before I do, I want to have 3 to 5 people just talk to me about their wins from last week. I feel that it's important that we start with wins because it really sets the tone for this call on Monday morning. So who wants to share their wins with me, whether it was personal, professional, spiritual, I don't care what it was. Who wants to share with me a few wins? So I'm going to wait. I'll let everyone throw their hands up. Kelly, I thought your hand would go up with your new listing. Let's see, Michael Swanson. Okay, cool. I have 4 people. One more person get in the queue for me, please. I'll wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. I'll have someone pass the mic. Let's go, Christina. Start us off. Wins from last week.
Hey, good morning, guys. So mine is a personal win. Took the family camping. I love camping. So we go with a big group. And I really just disconnected. I wanted to disconnect. I didn't want to put every single moment on social media. So I saved a bunch. I'm going to actually make a reel out of it. But it felt so good. Like I woke up this morning. We came back yesterday and woke up this morning, already went on my run, walked my dog, ready to kind of play a little bit of catch up. But my personal win was really to be in the moment and like talking like with my kids there and where I'm not, hold on, let me go on my phone real quick. Hold on, let me repost this. Hold on, let me answer this message. Like I let things just wait and being okay that I don't have waiting to respond in 30 minutes is okay. And that's really hard for me personally. So that was my personal win.
Wow. Where'd you guys go camping?
Jackson Rancheria. They
Okay.
have like a beautiful campground there. And it's like, and you're in the hills, there's like a walking path. I'd walk every morning and it was just really good disconnect.
Wow. I love that. I love that. I'm not the biggest, do you have a camper or do you guys like tent camp?
Okay, yeah, I should probably clarify it's glamping.
Okay.
We're in a big trailer and stuff. So it's glamping. So that's kind of, I'm not in a tent. We would have like died in the heat.
You know what? Times have changed because when I was a kid, I remember my first camping experience. I think I was 8 years old from San Diego. If you go up the 8 freeway, you end up in the desert. If you drive far enough, you drive out in the desert. Well, my stepdad at the time took me and my sister and some of his buddies, and they had their motorcycles and everything. We were in an old VW bus, right? VW bus where the top part of it popped out. There was no air conditioning. We went out, we set up our tent filled with Skittles and wrappers and hot. We didn't have the luxuries that a lot of people have today, but I'm glad that you guys went out there and had a good time. And I think that the disconnect is vital to our success and vital to our growth. So good stuff. Let's go, Kelly. Zali, you'll be on deck, and then Michael Swanson, you'll follow up on that. And then if anyone else has a win they want to share, go ahead and throw your hand up. Let's go, Kelly.
Hello. I got my first listing sign up, and it's really good because when I started real estate, I didn't know that this would happen this fast, or just in general, I was kind of discouraged a little bit, but I'm really excited. And me and Christina wrote another offer. And so that was cool because I was like, what? Oh my gosh, Christina's client, and so other than that, I like being on the team. So yeah.
Well, I love that. We like that you are on this team and that you choose us. But how cool. I love this. And like you said, you didn't feel like you were ready, but this is all the preparation. That's all the calls that you're on. That's all the conversations that you're in. It all led up to this moment. And this is a culmination of all the right things that you have done. So Kelly, shout out to you. Shout out to you, Christina Montiel. And I love that this sisterhood is really formed between you two. It's really cool to see. Total different walks of life that you guys are from, but you guys come together for a common cause, and there's some synergy between the two of you, and I love it. I love it. So congratulations to you, Kelly. Also, congratulations to you, Christina Montiel. Let's continue cruising on. Christina, don't go too far. Zali, you had your hand up, but then it went down. Should I wait to call on you? Should we come back? You're on mute.
Yeah, I'm good. I actually left my hand up by mistake, but anyway, I can go.
Let's go.
Well, I don't know if I should call it a win, because I haven't really started, doing anything yet, in theory, but I'm not, in my 90-day checklist. I still don't have access to the MLS for other reasons. So I'm sort of like in a standby process, and I feel like, let's go. I want to start moving, and I'm still, sort of like in limbo. But I've been using limbo time to start creating some sort of systems. Like someone said, I can't remember the name at the beginning. The systems are what defines us, and I have a really hard time sticking to systems. I am all over the place to change things around in 2 seconds, and I'm very actionable oriented, but it's hard for me to stick to a system. So I'm trying to stick with systems and create systems, especially social media. I have never been big fan of it, and I'm trying to be more active and post more things here and there. And because I don't know anything about real estate just yet, so I'm trying to post content that relates to myself and relates to my journey, and hopefully make it to a place where people can see, okay, well, this person is also trustworthy in the real estate market, not only in life. And then my other little win, I think, is like I've been really wanting to get my feet wet. So I contacted Rick Contreras, because I saw that he had an open house, and someone else was doing the open house for him, but he referred me to that person, and I got in touch with her. Her name is Pamela, and I went to the open house just to shadow and just to see how it was. And I loved it. It was really great. She was awesome. She had a lot of insightful information to give me. And yeah, I can't wait to actually, do it not as shadowing, but as, like taking the lead on this.
I love it.
I'm not ready, but there is hope, and I can see that it works.
Like, here's the thing, you guys. There's every single person on this call, whether you have been in this game for 15 years or you've been in this game for 5 minutes, each of you probably felt at one stage that you were not ready to knock on a door, create the video, do an open house, do a buyer presentation, do a listing presentation. But what happens is that when you just say, you know what, I'm going to do it, and it's not going to be perfect, but you're okay with that, right? I'm going to fumble over my words. I might not capture their name, their email. I might not get their phone number. I might forget to say bye to them. I might get wrapped up in a conversation and not be able to focus on the person I should have been focused. That's all part of the experience. So Zali, don't wait for the moment or the time to be right. Just get out there and start to experience what that actually feels like. And I promise you, you'll start to find a groove. And then, like I said, then you'll have a body of work that you can analyze. Like, oh, okay, Elias, I need a little bit of help, because every time I said this, they said this. What would you say? And then we'll work through that. So raise your hand if you ever felt that you may not have been ready for something in this game, but you did it anyways. Please raise your hand if you've ever felt that. I'm still like that. And I've been in this game for a long time. So there's so much power in that moment, and really capturing the nerves of that moment, because it allows us to stay human, stay humble, and know that, you know what, I'm willing to try this no matter what. This business is going to be a series of you trying things that are so weird, so awkward, so uncomfortable. And then once you do it, you're like, oh, okay, I feel a little bit better. And I think next time I'm going to do even better. So look around. Look how many people raised their hand on the screen. You are not alone. So I think, don't say that you are not ready. I 100% believe that you are ready. Why? Because you already have great communication. You already have great communication skills, and you already have a great personality. And those two things right there can get you pretty far in this game. They can get you pretty far in this game. So Sally, I appreciate your sentiment. Thanks for chiming in. Let's go to Michael Swanson. Then we'll go to Christina Montiel, and then Chicken Mom, and then Antonio and JJ. Let's go, Michael Swanson.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. I got a couple wins. One's personal, one's business. The personal is I'm an assistant coach for my son's AAU team this weekend. I was able to coach the entire weekend, head coach. We're getting ready to go to a tournament in Vegas at the end of the month.
Let's go.
We went 4-0 and won the tournament this weekend, so that was big. Had a great time. My business win is I just been grinding it out, man. And I feel like, I don't know how people know this, but I haven't closed a deal in 18 months. Last year was hard for me, and I got back on it this year and started getting into it. And I feel like the last month or so has just been great. And so I was able to secure 2 listing appointments this week, one today and one tomorrow. I'm about to get out and shoot some content this morning. My listing appointment is in Oakland. I'll be in the Oakland office getting ready for it, and then it's at 3 o'clock today. So I'm super pumped about it. And then when I get it signed, because I'm claiming it, it'll be my biggest listing yet. So I'm super juiced, super excited about it.
Let's go, big dog. And I appreciate the vulnerability. I appreciate you letting us in, right? And I want to ask you a question. Your friend had told you something, and you posted about it on social media. Can you talk to us about that and what that moment meant to you?
Yeah, so I was leaving my son's game, and a homeboy that I haven't seen in about 10 years had walked in the gym. And, you know, we greeted each other, and he was like, "Bro, I see you, man. Like you doing your thing, you going crazy." And I'm like, "You know, man, I'm trying." He's like, "No, bro, fuck that humble shit, bro. Like, you're killing it. I see you on social media, you're doing your thing, you know, keep it up." And so that pumped me up as well. It was one thing when like your family or even like you guys, my colleagues say they see me, but it's another thing was like a dude I haven't seen in 10 years. And you know, he lets me know I see you. I'm watching you on social media. I see you doing your thing. So that was huge for me.
Let's go, my man. Let's go. And you listen, there's so many people looking and watching, and you don't know who you're going to touch, how you're going to impact them, who's ready to buy, sell real estate. You just never know. That's why the consistency matters so much. And I love it, man. Fingers crossed. Congratulations already for the listing that you're going to get signed, going to put on the market, going to pick up some buyers, going to do the open houses. So good things to come, my man. Appreciate you sharing. Chicken Mom, let's go to you. And then Christina Montiel, you'll be on deck, and then Antonio. And Christina, or excuse me, and Brianna, at any time you say, Elias, I'm done with the Chicken Mom acronym, just go, or moniker, just please feel free to stop me. I've just been running with that for the last few weeks, but let's go, Brianna. She also has a first and last name, Brianna Tejeda. Let's go, Brianna.
No, we're good with Chicken Mom too. I don't care.
Okay, all right.
I love my animals, all of them. Dog mom, chicken mom, mom. I love it. For me, I would say like personal and business together. I joined the team and then my life kind of just hired me, and I felt like my systems and my schedule and everything kind of went to crap. And this last week and a half, I have gotten it back. I feel super productive. I'm sticking to my schedule. I did my first open house in my comfort zone, which is the Bay Area, and that went amazing.
How many people came to the open house? How many leads did you capture?
We captured 9 leads, and 20 people came, over 20 people came through. Some of it, it was busy. The first Saturday wasn't as busy. Mostly people with agents came through, but the conversations were good. Me and Brandy were brainstorming. I felt so comfortable being in an area that I like grew up around or grew up in, and just being really comfortable. And then Saturday, it was cracking. A little dead between the 12 to 1, but 2 to 3, cracking. Yeah.
I love it. So 45% of the people that came through, you were able to get their information and turn into leads. So that's the game plan for today. That's the follow-up, right? That's the videos, that's the text message, that's the emails, that's following up with all those people. So I love it. Congrats to you. Brianna said, because she lives in the Central Valley by me, she said, as soon as she goes over that Altamont, she dips down over, the radio station changes. She leans a little bit of the car. She feels like she's back in.
No GPS.
No GPS. She's in her zone. She's feeling good. So hats off to you. Congratulations to you as well as to Brandy. Let's go to Christina Montiel, our butterfly dancer. Let's go. Let's go.
Good morning, family. Not much of a win, but you know, I did an open house a week ago, and I got a heat stroke. From there, I got COVID. From there, I had a whole allergy reaction to all the medication I was taking. My face got all burned.
Jeez.
So during that time, I just took time to be thankful that I was alive, and took time to breathe and put things in prospect. And I have to thank Kelly for being my partner there. She showed up. I had to show a property in the middle of the whole thing. My face was so terrible, but and Ashley as well, because I was calling Ashley and sending a text message. It is our client. What do I do? I'm just thankful for this group. I'm just thankful for the people around me, even though health was not up 100%. You know, I was trying to multitask everything, and I just told myself enough is enough. You need to shut down. You need to rest. And it was a tough week. it was a tough week, but I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to test negative for COVID. I'm glad my face is kind of coming back to normal. And this week we have a big week, Kelly and I, and I'm just grateful to be here. So.
Wow. Well, to have a heat stroke is one thing, that's tough on the body, but then to have COVID on top of that, I can imagine. So I'm glad you're feeling good. I'm glad you're feeling better. If you need anything from any of us on the screen, I'm sure we'll all be there to support you. So much love to you, and hopefully you heal up really, really quick. Let's go over to Antonio and then JJ, then I'll come back to Demi and Nicole. Let's go, Antonio. Good to see you, my man.
Good to see you too, Elias. Just happy Monday to everybody. And basically I have two business wins. Last Saturday, I did an open house in San Leandro and was able to get a good lead, a good prospect. And she was looking to get pre-approved and wanted to get into the market. So I'm in the process right now of getting her pre-approved, and hopefully we, do some shopping this week or, the upcoming weeks. And then last week, I actually helped my uncle move to Vegas. So we did a 8-hour drive. It was tough. It was 115 degrees out there. And in the midst of that, I got a Facebook lead. I got contacted through Facebook asking if, I could help her with the process and help her get pre-approved. So today I'm going to have a buyer's consultation at 11:30 in the Hayward office. So hopefully, I get this lead and these two leads pre-approved, and, hopefully we go home shopping soon.
Well, first off, man, you're a great nephew to be able to help your uncle move to Las Vegas in this heat. Tell us a little bit about your campaign. How much did you spend? How long did it run? Tell us about your Facebook campaign.
So actually, this wasn't an ad or anything. This was just, I guess, a personal friend, or not a friend, but just somebody that, we're friends on Facebook. And she's been seeing me, post my reels, post my house tours. So she DM'd me, and, now we're on to the next steps.
I love it, bro. I love it, man. Let me know how it goes in Hayward. If you need anything, let me know. Here to support you. JJ, I don't see you on camera. You want me to come back to you, big dog? Oh, there he is. There he is. He's on Swole Patrol this morning. What's up, man?
No, it's heart attack prevention. That's Swole Patrol.
All right, cool. Whatever you call it.
I shut the fuck up.
That's right.
My mom's memorial happened, and a bunch of people I hadn't seen in a long time were there, and I was kind of quiet. I ran the food and everything. We had a bunch of tacos and stuff, so I didn't really, I always take up a lot of space, and that day, for whatever reason, I didn't. Two people came up to me, and I guess it's because I'm not my usual obnoxious self, and they were asking me specific stuff about real estate. So that's just regular stuff. But then 2 days later, a friend of mine named Danny, who I admire a lot, we had a conversation, and he said that he noticed that I wasn't trying to take over conversations, and what did I do differently? And I said, nothing. I didn't do anything consciously. Anyway, he got me down this path, and I realized that I take over stuff everywhere in my life. I mean, I'm a father, now I'm 50s, and so most of the people are kind of not on the same level, so I'm able to bully everybody. And I realized if you just shut up, you become much more effective getting out your message. You know what I mean? And so I found that interesting. I've been able to steamroll everything in my business and personal relationships so long that I didn't notice it. We're gonna put my oldest dog down today, and I had been telling my family that we need to put him down because he's just been suffering. This heat's really doing him bad. And so I was able to just talk to him and explain to them beyond their personal emotions how it's not fair to the dogs. And they actually, they were fighting me for it the whole time, but I was steamrolling them. I didn't realize it. When I finally sat down and said, look, these are the reasons. It's not that I want to be a jerk or he's inconveniencing me. It's just time. So they turned around. So I shut the fuck up. That's it.
Wow. Well, condolences to your family once again with your mother passing. And then obviously I've put down a dog who was 12 years old and had prostate cancer. So I know that process too, my man. So my heart goes out to you. But I think there's something powerful in what JJ said and being able to shut the fuck up. And a lot of times in our lives, and you may be that person where you're the sergeant, right? And it feels like you're the sergeant, you're dictating how things are going in business. You're kind of the sergeant at home. You're dictating how the family's run and the house goes and the rules and all of this. but to be able to take a back seat sometimes and just let, the conversations happen around you. I think that's a powerful moment. Melody, were you chiming in on what JJ were saying or something else? Because you said I had a moment like that yesterday. Can you elaborate on your comment?
Yeah. I had a moment like that yesterday. I'm usually just like a high I on the disc profile. I feel like Elias and I's personality is very similar. If you know anything about me, you know that I'm just a talker. And yesterday, for whatever reason, I was just like exhausted. I mean, I've had family in town from Miami, so I've been entertaining. My cousins are upstairs sleeping in the guest bedroom right now. But yeah, I just shut down and I needed like a couple of hours just like not talking. And I was just sitting there observing everyone. We were in Napa drinking wine and, doing all these vineyard tours. And it was a wonderful afternoon. Nothing was particularly wrong, and this happens very rarely. So my cousins were like, "Are you okay? What's wrong? Are you okay? Are you mad at us? Are you feeling okay?" Like they literally thought I was physically ill because I was just quiet for a couple of hours. And I was like, "No, dude, like I just need a minute. Like I just want to take a back seat and let someone else be in charge because I'm just like exhausted." So it was actually pretty nice. And I don't know exactly why my brain switched like that, but it happened very organically. And I was just like, okay, this is cool. I'll just follow the lead for once.
Yeah, God, I appreciate you saying that, Mel. There's a lot of pressure for us to be on in social situations with our family. If you have children, there's just a lot of pressure for us to be on. And I experience that same pressure, right? I'm home more than my wife is home. And so, the family, the kids, the rules, the chores, a lot of the things fall on me. And then obviously the company and so many things. And so to be able to slow down and not have to always be on, I think that's rejuvenating. So good stuff. I appreciate you sharing. Let's go Demi Bledsoe. And then I want to come back to Ro and Nicole because I want to shift gears for a few minutes. Let's go D Bledsoe.
Good morning. I was initially just going to respond to what Michael had said earlier, because I can obviously identify with the length of time of not being in contract and just how that can weigh on you. So hang in there. The work does work. And then on the other ends of him seeing his buddy and like pushing him to get out there more and just keep doing what he's doing and encouraging him. My wife has been working this new contract that she's on a deadline until the end of the month. So she's been working like 12 hours a day. So I haven't had much time for my own shit because I've been with the kids. So I took them to Pier 39 the other day, got on the ferry. We had a whole day. We're in the middle of San Francisco, thousands of people around. Some guy, "Hey, Bledsoe, I haven't seen you in 10 years, but I love all the shit that you're doing. I've been seeing everything that you're doing. Keep going." Same type of thing. So like when we feel like the reach isn't there or that people aren't seeing or they're not carrying whatever, it is working. People are seeing you because it may not reflect in my numbers when I look at all this stuff and like you only got this amount of views or this amount of whatever. None of that matters. As long as you keep doing this stuff, people are seeing it and they are noticing, and the business will come from it. And whatever else you're trying to get from it, it'll come from it. But just keep doing it. So I wanted to tap in on that point from what Michael said, and then also what you guys are talking about. Shut the fuck up. Because of how tired I've been behind having the kids all day and doing all these different tasks. On the 4th of July, I went to a party, sat down and read a book while all these other people are just standing around, fraternizing, having conversations, playing with the kids, all the shit. I'm in the corner reading a book. You wouldn't believe how many people came up to me and wanted to talk about what I was reading. Who are you? What are you doing? You're in the middle of a party reading a book. The next day, we're at a block party in Oakland. Same thing. I'm still kind of like in a little bit of a mood, but not really, man. I'm reading a book in the corner. And all these people in the party just keep coming up to me. Some people come in like asking advice on shit, and I've never met these people in my life. So all that to say, JJ, I identify with that too. Like just shutting the fuck up sometimes is a conversation starter.
Oh, if my wife was here right now, she'd be like, see, babe, I promise you, she would resonate with this conversation. So would my kids. And so, you guys, let's shift.
Wait. Don't get everybody mixed up now. Me, you, and Drew, maybe. But the rest of you guys keep talking. Keep talking. You got to get where we're at to be able to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? No, don't take this the wrong way. We don't want you to be reclusive. We're just
That's
saying
right.
we take too much oxygen out of the room, not you guys.
That's right. Ro, Nicole, I won't forget about you. I'll come back to you guys. But stay there. Keep your thoughts on the front of your mind. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about this defining moments, because I've been really starting to unpack this and really starting to think about this on deeper levels. Over the course of the last couple of years, I've met people like George Bryan. If you don't follow George Bryan, follow George Bryan. He's all about the consumer journey and making sure that we're impacting the consumer at every step of the journey, and how we can define moments throughout our entire presentation and our entire interaction. Because when you think about this, there's defining moments for you throughout a transaction, right? It's important that you're starting to identify all of these small moments. But also, I want you to put yourself in the shoes of a consumer. When they are going through this journey, when they pick up that phone to call somebody about purchasing or getting a pre-approval, or when they call Zillow and Zillow says, yeah, hang tight, I'm going to connect you with Otis. He is in your market and he can help answer your questions about buying a house at 123 Main Street. Oh my God, they're going to connect us to some guy named Otis. Hello? Yeah, hi Otis. Yeah, that is a defining moment for consumers. So when we're starting to look at these defining moments, and what I want you to do is I want you to really start to evaluate the defining moments for yourself, but also put yourself in the shoes of a consumer. How are they feeling? What are they going for? This might be the first time this may be the first time that they're ever speaking to anybody about purchasing a home. And the first person they talk to is Ashley. Why? Because somebody recommended that they go and get a pre-approval from this girl named Ashley. They don't know who she is. They don't know a Christina. And now we have this opportunity to create this this experience for them, and a defining moment to where they look back in their life. Remember when we made that call, honey, and we were so scared? And then Ashley walked us through her process and made us feel so warm and welcome. Remember that email with that video that she sent? God, I will always appreciate that. You guys have to really, really look at all the defining moments that we're taking our consumers through. And I'm going to share some notes with you. Defining moments, the impact moments in your presentation. I want you to start looking at this. If your presentation seems and feels like it's mundane and it's the average everyday presentation, it's time that you shake things up. And the moment that you start to evaluate it, you can say, you know what? This is an opportunity for me to make this better. This is an opportunity for me to insert a video. This is an opportunity for me to insert a series of videos to take them through exactly what they're going to experience over the course of the next 15 days. This is what happens when we release a contingency. This is what happens when they submit the EMD and they get a video from me saying, oh my God, I know what you're going through. This is a heartfelt moment, but you're okay. I got you. I'm going to walk you through this. Elevation. Let's talk about this. Came directly from the book that we're reading. Defining moments rise above the everyday. Moments of elevation transcend the normal course of events. They are literally extraordinary. Every single one of you on this call have an opportunity to create an extraordinary experience for your consumers, an extraordinary presentation, something that feels different, something that invokes some type of emotion in them, makes them think, makes them experience something that they could not experience with anybody else than a Kelly Kelly. That is that's the space that you create. And why? Because you are conscious of it. When you're conscious of all these defining moments, these impact moments for you and for the consumer, then what are you going to do? You're going to work at making that a lot better. Because the moment that you can evaluate everything that you're doing for your buyers, sellers, and investors, that means that in the new world in August, when things change, you separated yourself from everybody. You don't ask the question of, oh, are you working with an agent? That's weak. You're not asking the question, are you pre-approved? Yeah, because they went to 7 other open houses and everyone said that. And what do? It's just a defense mechanism. Oh, I am. Oh, I have an agent, right? So we start to get our consumers conditioned to answer these weak ass questions, right? Or Are you going to become that person that separates yourself? And you probably are already doing that now. But the moment that you're conscious of it and you look at this in a completely different way and say, you know what? This is such a defining moment for them. For some of you, this might be your 50th transaction. This might be your 100th transaction. This might be your 20th home that you've sold in that subdivision. But it's their first time. It's their first call. Right. And so if you could really put yourself in the shoes of the consumer and say, I know this is such a defining moment, and how can I make this better for them? All things will change in your presentation. You'll start to enhance the way that you make phone calls. The moment that you get off that phone call, there'll be a video. It'll be a text message. It'll be a recap of that conversation. There will never be a point where you miss a step because it's so important to the experience of the consumer. You guys with me so far? Does that make sense? Does that land for you guys? I want you guys to really, really dive into this book if you have the time. Think in moments and be moment spotting. I thought these were two powerful things because when you think in moments, you start to break down your presentation, right? From the moment you get on the call, from the moment you close the call, the first email, the buyer's consultation, the buyer tour, how you're setting it up, how you're reviewing comps, how you're going over the RPA, what are you doing through the transaction, how are you managing the escrow? Like if you think about this, in the idea of thinking in moments and then moment spotting, right? Like, that's a moment right there. I might not have done it on this transaction, but I identified a moment. I spotted a moment. Now in my next presentation, I'm going to make that a little bit better. Recognize where life and presentation deserves punctuation. And I love that quote. Think about this in your own life. Think about this in your kids, in your relationship, in your significant other. If you can create a moment or an experience when your wife or your husband pulls up from work, right? When they walk in that door, what's it like? Hey, babe. Or is there some type of fun routine that you make them feel, wow, that's a cool way to come home every single day. That's just a great way to be greeted every day. How many of you have ever walked in your door and your kids run up to you and say, mommy or daddy? Has that ever happened to anybody on this call? It still happens to me. And when Lily's here in the summertime, I got 2 kids running up to me, racing to see who's going to be able to hug me first, right? That's a defining moment for me. So when you think about those things, like how can you create moments like that are punctuated, right? I have a punctuation on it in your life and in your presentation. So I wanted to give you guys, I didn't mean to do that, Erica, but I wanted to give you guys some context for this conversation because I've been, and I will continue to go through this book, but I want to pull a couple things up really quick that I prepared for you guys this morning. Melody, can you read this quote?
The future depends on what you do today. Mahatma Gandhi.
Absolutely. So each of you are wanting to create this future and this life for yourself. Well, that all is determined by the actions that you take today, right? You're acting as if, you're living as if, and you're creating the future that you hold for tomorrow. But by the time you guys know it, you're going to be 55 years old. Shit's going to ache. You're going to feel a little bit different. You're like, damn it, where's that spark I once had? You guys, life is just passing us by. So the future depends on what you do today. A moment, a day, a week, a month of your procrastination, how far along in your future is that going to impact you? Is that going to impact you if you're dragging your feet? So we've already gone through wins. I'm going to go through this really quick. Melody, once again, since I have you on camera, can you read this out loud for me?
What specific actions or strategies did you implement last week propelled you forward?
Sorry.
What specific actions or strategies did you implement last week that propelled you forward? How can you replicate the successes and reduce the challenges this week?
And you guys, I want you to stay with this and feel free to take a shot of this, sit with this and really ask yourself, like, what actions did I do last week that really, really helped me? Was it the amount of calls, with the amount of times I put people into Real Scout? What did that actually look like? And Patrick, you had your hand up, bro. As soon as that went up, let's go to you really quick. And Nicole, I have not forgot about you. And Cynthia, I'll get to you as well. Patrick, let's go.
No. So last week we were talking about Wednesday, we're talking about AI tools and whatnot. So I've been really diving on that last week and found a couple tools. And been utilizing that with my day-to-day kind of business, right? So one kind of way that I've been using it is doing comps and kind of creating a bullet point notes and summary of my tours with my clients and whatnot. So what I do is I take notes during my showings, and then after my showing, after my tour, I go to my comps, I go to that property, and I basically just upload it to the AI, to ChatGPT, say analyze all these 3 documents, create a bullet point summary of what I just did and what you think about the trends of the market, and make it basic English, and it just creates this amazing bullet point note email type of stuff that I just use. And it takes like 2-3 minutes, you know? And it's pretty accurate data. So I've been doing that, and it's just making everything so seamless and nice.
Yeah, because, and not to say that you're not probably a good writer, but it reduces the amount of time that I have to spend thinking about how am I going to craft this email, right? How am I going to word this right? How am I going to categorize the data in a way that a consumer can understand in layman's terms?
Absolutely. And you can do that with disclosures as well, with the whole package.
Totally. I love this, man. I absolutely love this. Otis, you had a contribution on that question or that statement there?
Yes. I had to really go at it with another agent. I have a listing that's going to be, contingent on them buying on. So I had to really have a conversation. The agent basically, I always call, and sometimes for the life of me, I just don't get why listing agents don't pick up their phone and they don't return phone calls. She picked up the very first time and was like, yeah, the offer that I have, we are in contract. The offer that I have isn't strong. So yeah, go ahead and write it. And then Tuesday, they have until Tuesday. And then I'm like, okay. I explained to her that this sale is contingent. So she said to do it. So we list their house. And then come Tuesday, she's saying that they extended. And I'm like, okay, like what's going on here? First of all, they've been in contract for over 30 days, 32 days now. It still shows active on the MLS. Doesn't say contingent show anything. So I'm telling her what's going on here. Like you're in contract. You should have some type of earnest money in. This fucking thing should be pending. Like what's going on? She just wasn't trying to be communicative. She literally texted me 50 texts and wouldn't pick up the phone. I called her out, basically telling her like, "Hey, this is the worst communication I've ever had with a listing agent. Why aren't you trying to pick up your phone?" I don't knock nobody what they do, but at the end of the day, if this client really wants that, and these 2 deals are pending, and they're like slam dunk, they trust me. Whatever way we're gonna do this, it's locked in, and this is their number one. So I mean, going all in, I had to call her broker. I had to tell him like, "Hey, man, I come from a unionized family. Like, I want to come to you man to man. This is your brokerage. Like, you have an agent that's, already breaking MLS, codes. Like, things are not seeming, I don't want to start pointing double ending or whatever, but she's not doing fair business for a client that really wants this house. Can you intervene?" He intervened. He must have said something to her. And then she was like, "Well, you should be texting me to be telling you about being a backup offer." I'm like, wait a minute. You still haven't accepted this offer, countered, or do anything. Like, that's your job. Like, we're trying to bid. So just staying on her, staying on it, not giving up. Circled back. Hopefully today we figure out if we can get launched into a backup offer to first place. So being resilient earlier on and not afraid to escalate it for this client. I mean, you got to go all out sometimes. And in this case, like, they really want it. So as long as I stay in my restrictions and not fall out of anything, I'm going to go all that hard for my client because they deserve it, because they already wanted to list their home to get this house. So we're doing a lot of stuff. And it got me to the point where they're already looking at several other houses and just listening to me like, "Hey, just in case this falls out, you want to have another plan." So I don't want to lose the listing. So securing the trust last week and doing the most got me to stay in contract, and hopefully that we get into this one, or they're already ready to write on 2 other properties just in case.
Love it. Love it. I appreciate your contribution. Let's go here, you guys. Real talk. Are your current activities and daily tasks aligned with your short-term and long-term goals? What adjustments can you make to ensure that every action you take this week moves you closer to your vision? Yes, you guys, I'm a vision person. I am working for the Elias of 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So you have to ask yourself, are the current activities that you're doing or not doing, are they serving the greater good? Are they serving you at a high level? Are they making sure that they're in alignment with whatever it is that you want to accomplish in your life and business? And I got a couple hands here. I'll come to you guys in just a moment. I don't know who iPhone 3 is. Oh, I think that's Cynthia. All right, so we'll come to you guys in just a minute, but I want you to stay with that one. Another one. Who or what can you leverage for accountability and support this week? How can you proactively seek out resources, mentorship, or partnership that will help you stay focused and motivating you on achieving your production goals? Listen, sometimes we just need a little bit of help. Maybe there's a video that Melody's doing or Patrick's doing that you really liked, and you just don't understand the angles or how to shoot it, or how do you do the 0.5, or how do you do a voiceover, right? I think that it's important that you are always asking questions and that you're curious. And then you're not staying in your own bubble and be like, you know what, I'm not going to call Christina Pineda. I'm just not going to call her. Like, call people, ask them for help, ask them for resources. If you've never hopped on a coaching session with me, then hop on a coaching session with me. And my intent is that something positive will come out of that. You'll get some clarity. So who or what can you leverage for accountability and support this week? Who can you actively, proactively reach out to that are going to support your ultimate goal and your production goal? Think about that. And go to the board, you guys. Like I always say, every single Monday, no excuses, no bullshit, no stories. What are the numbers that you guys are going to put on the board this week? I'm going to make X amount of calls. I'm going to knock on X amount of doors if I can, weather permitting. I'm going to put X amount of people into my CRM. I'm going to drop X amount of stories, X amount of videos this week. I have a set goal for the week. Or am I just going to go about it haphazardly? You guys, you'll hear that until I'm blue in the face. That is not a goal. That is trying to run this business by chance, and this is not a chance business. So go to the board. No excuses, no bullshit, no stories, just numbers. And get clear on what that is. Like I said, the numbers, the conversations, the videos, so on and so forth. And then last but not least, you guys, this is important. And I will always say this because I believe in how important this is. How much physical activity will you have this week? There was not a day last week that I missed the gym sessions, not a single day, right? I'm committed to it because I feel good. I feel refreshed. I feel like my mind is clear. I'm able to sweat, release any, food that I ate. I want you guys to make a goal for yourself, a physical activity, and write that on your board as well. And then last but not least, before I get to my other contributions for the morning, today I'm going to do this one thing, even though I don't want to. What's that going to be? What's that going to be? Is that making sure you have your system in place. You've been talking about a fucking MailChimp for 6 weeks now. You haven't done anything about it. Like, what are you going to do today that you don't really want to do? I promise you something good will happen from that. Let's go to our contributions for the morning. Let's go over to, we'll go over to Ro. We'll go over to Nicole because I want to make sure to come back to them. So Ro, what's your contribution, thoughts, or insight on our call today? Let's go.
Well, I'm a little worried because I get home and I have to find my dog. So she's never at the door to greet me. So I don't know what that says about her relationship.
She said, "Mom,
I'm already 56, so I'm really messed up. I don't know what I'm gonna do."
Like, I need that wet food, Mom. I need that wet food.
Yeah, it's been a good week. I finished the 10X is easier than 2X book.
Okay, hold on, Ro. Hold on, Ro. Ro, that is the most, I'd say the most impactful book that I've read over the course of the last 5 years. If you could share one thing from that book, because we could have a whole digest on that, but if you could share one thing from that book.
Honing in on my unique ability and really owning that and figuring out how that's going to help me in this space. So that's one of the things I've been thinking about all night since I finished the book. And it's been a good week. Brittany and I are going to work on with a buyer who's a friend of a friend who reached out to me through the marketing I've been doing. It's been a little slow. But I was very excited to have her contact me. So something's working. I have a new newsletter, a new format. Worked with someone to do that. I'm very excited about that. And I met 200 neighbors at the 4th of July community event. I did all the registration, which was a pain in the you-know-what, but I was like, I'm going to sit at the table in 90-degree heat and meet everybody. I handed out postcards. Some people said, "Oh, I see you in the newsletter. I got your postcard. Thanks for reminding us about the event." And over 200 people came. I want to take a little credit for that. So those are the wins for me this week.
I mean, just the message of perseverance that shows the consumers that you're willing to be out there to say hello, to meet people, to be a part of the community. And now you have all these people that get to be a part of your amazing newsletter. Right. So it's just like, it's a win-win. And I know it's a really tough question. If you don't have the answer now, just say, come back to me at a different time, Elias. But what is that unique ability? Do you know what it is yet?
Well, I really love to do research and to explain things to people that might be complicated, or if you're not in that field or area. And so be able to say to people, this is information you need to have to make the best decision. And I listen, I'm a good listener. So I think those are things that will benefit me in this business.
100%, 100%. And now we take that to the next level, and everything that you do and everything that you market and everything that you create is centered around that unique ability. I love this, Ro. And I'm so glad that you finished that book. It is such a powerful book. If you've not read that book, I've talked about this time and time again. Pick up that book, read that book, listen to that book. Even when they start out and he starts talking about Michelangelo, right? And the Statue of David, it had me from the very first introduction to that book. So really good stuff. Let's go Nicole Penland, then we'll go Cynthia, and then Melody, you will be our last contribution for the morning. Let's go Nicole Penland.
So these last couple weeks, I've been making it a point to start utilizing partnerships a bit more. And last week, I went out with both Michelle Springer and Chris Edwards door knocking in we each have farms. I'm partnering with them in farms in different areas because I'm making it a point to start expanding outside of Oakland. And I think in both times that we went, when I went out with Michelle and when I went out with Chris, I feel like we've kind of started getting more in our rhythm with the door knocking. We're getting more contacts and having a lot more conversations with the neighbors. So that was really, really exciting as far as a win on the business side. And on the personal side, I'm in Georgia right now. I'm at my mom's house. And this is our first time back since 2019 when we moved to California. And my mom had barbecue yesterday. My niece taught me a TikTok dance. I was excited about that. And just being with family and catching up. It's been nice. So those are my personal wins for this week.
I love that for you, Nicole, and I can hear it in your voice. Everything that you've been going through over the last year, you're filled with emotion just to be able to spend that time. And so, Nicole, I really appreciate you sharing and letting us in. Let's go to Cynthia Jackson, and then Melody will be on her last contribution. Thanks for sharing, Nicole.
Well, good morning. I couldn't resist I couldn't resist just reading this quote because my sister every morning sends me, positive affirmations and all this stuff every single morning. And this one really stood out and it's right in line with what we are talking about today. And it says, there are only 2 days in the year that nothing can be done. One is called yesterday and the other is called tomorrow. So today is the right day to love, believe, and do, and mostly to live, right? So my takeaway from that is anything that you want to see done for tomorrow, do it today.
Right. That's right. Cynthia, I really, really appreciate that quote. Thanks for sharing. If you have it written down, if you can throw that in the chat. If not, I know it's pressure and it's only 3 minutes to go, but I appreciate you sharing that, Cynthia. Let's go, Mel. Mel, last contribution of our session today. Thanks for being on. Thanks for being present. Let's go.
So for those of you guys that don't know, I come from a family of immigrants. My family came from Iran in the 70s before the war, and they settled in Florida. My mom is one of 8, but now one of 4 because some of her brothers and sisters have passed away. And my mom was the only one that left Florida in her 20s and branched out and came to the West Coast and landed in California. And, that kind of left me on my own island. I didn't grow up with any brothers and sisters because I'm an only child. I didn't grow up with any cousins around me because everyone is on the East Coast. Even though I have probably 15 cousins, we don't talk. We're not close. We didn't grow up together and we kind of live in different worlds. Well, when I turned 34 years old last year, I made a decision that I wanted to have a relationship with my cousins, with my aunts, with my uncles. And so because we didn't grow up close, what I started to do is I started to just pick up the phone. I'd say, hey, Uncle Mike, hey, Uncle Jimmy, how's it going? What's going on in your world? What did you eat today? How was your weekend? How are the kids doing? And at first they thought that it was really weird. They're like, hi, Melody. How are you? Like what they were like very confused on why I was calling them and they wanted to know what I wanted. And I said, I don't want anything. I just wanted to hear your voice. I just wanted to know what's going on in your world. And so I became that cousin or that niece that started just picking up the phone. And after a year, my family started getting used to me just picking up the phone and calling them and calling my cousins and just connecting. Like, hey, I just want to know what you ate for lunch yesterday. I don't want anything from you. I just want to know what's going on in your world because I care and because I want to have a relationship with my family. My family is extremely important to me. And I don't want to grow up alone on my own island in California, all by myself, dependent on friends. I don't want to grow up with my son and not knowing his uncles and his aunts and his cousins, right? And so I started picking up the phone. And so now my family is used to me just picking up the phone and calling them and bugging them and hearing about their world and what's going on in their life and at work and what hardships they're going through. And actually one of my uncles was in real estate and I got such a good relationship with him, my uncle Mike, Elias, you know him, that he joined EXP and now he's in my downline because he's like, hey, you're killing it. And we created an amazing relationship because I literally just started connecting with them and I put myself in their world, right? I didn't wait for them to come to me. So my takeaway from this call, Elias, and from the quotes that you read earlier was that in our industry, you just have to get really good at picking up the damn phone. And maybe before you cold call your clients and maybe you connect with your, open house leads over the weekend, maybe you just call an uncle or an aunt or your godmom or your grandparents and you just have that warm conversation and you just connect with someone that it's easy for you to connect with and you put a smile on someone's face that's in your immediate world. And then it makes it so much easier to spread that energy out into the world when it comes to your clients, when it comes to your friends, and when it comes to other people in your world, right? So our relationship is our industry is a relationship-based business. We are realtors, right? So just start having relationships with people. Don't wait for people to call you.
I love this. I love this. If you treated every single phone call as if you were serving your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, your buddy from high school, you would treat that phone call a little bit different. Your voice would sound different. The words that you use would sound and feel different to the person on the other end. And that's how you create impact moments. That's how you create defining moments. And so you guys, really powerful session today. It's Monday. Like I said, you guys go out there and do something that's going to move your needle, move your business forward this week. If you need any help with anything, let me know. Last thing before we head out, if you have not RSVP'd for our year-end review meeting, please do so. I would love to see your faces in the room next week on Tuesday at HQ. The link is in the chat down below. Make sure to RSVP. I would love to have you there. You guys have a wonderful day. We're 2 minutes over, but listen, thank you for all your contributions. We probably had 15 contributions today, and that's what these sessions are all about. So thank you. As always, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision, and go out there and make this a week that counts. Peace.